Hari Om, everybody. Hope everybody had a good long weekend. I was going to begin today's class by answering Rama's question, but Rama isn't here. So let's see if she'll join in at a bit later. But then I also wanted to address what Lakshman had said when I asked for the definition of Brahman. Brahman is Anirvachaniya. So with regards to that, I would like to tell you an incident which happened with Gurudev. So it's not a story, it's a real incident. And Gurudev was studying under Swami Tapon Maharaj, as you know. And Swami Tapon Maharaj was explaining Brahman. And Gurudev said, Swamiji, Guruji, you say that Brahman is beyond words, but you are using so many words to explain Brahman. How come? And the Guru kept quiet and after a while said, Chinmaya, bring me water. So Gurudev got up and came back with a pot of water. And the Guru said, I asked only for water, not the pot. And Gurudev said, but how can I bring water without the pot? And the Guru kept quiet. And the disciple understood that yes, Brahman is beyond words, but the intellect cannot understand silence. The intellect cannot understand without words. And as long as we are in the field of ignorance, what is the field of ignorance? Considering the body to be real, considering the world to be real, considering this class to be real, considering the reading to be real, the book to be real, we cannot say Brahman is indescribable. The one that can say Brahman is indescribable is the one who has realized Brahman. At that point, the realized master becomes silent because really there are no words to explain Brahman. But we cannot say that until we reach that stage. We are right now in the realm of definitions. We need definitions. We need words because the intellect can only understand through words. And then after the intellect is absolutely clear about all the concepts, then we have to transcend the intellect. And that's when you realize. And when you realize, then you say, I can't describe. That's why even Narad Bhakti Sutra, when they say describe bhakti, it's like a dumb person being asked to describe the taste of the food that he has eaten, and he can't speak. But then he's dumb. So as long as we have not reached that stage, we must define Brahman. And we also are at a stage where we are considering Jiva to be real. So Jiva is real, and therefore definition of Jiva is also essential to understand what it is and how to transcend it. And therefore Jiva remains as a reflection in the pool of the mind. That is the definition. There is no mind and there is no Jiva, actually. But have we reached that stage? Have we reached there? As long as we don't reach there, we have. That's why even in 15, Bhagavan clearly, Mama eva ansha jiva. If jiva is not there, if it is not experienced, why would Bhagavan even use the word jiva? Why is it even used? It's not there. It's false. Yeah, but have we reached that stage? We haven't. And so until then, we do need all this. Now, I'm going to explain once again this concept of Kshetra and Kshetrajna in extremely simple terms. And this is the understanding you can have, and you really do not need the analysis that I did, because that again takes a bit more this thing. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram abhidiyate. So Bhagavan has said that this body is kshetra, and we have defined kshetra, that which is seen. You need not even go further. Anything that you see falls under kshetra, and seen includes inference, presumption, comparison, all the means of knowledge. So seen means heard also is seen. Smelled also is seen. Tasted is also seen, falls under seen. Perceived. Better word is a is perceived. So perceived is not just a physical perception, but includes inference as well. So all that falls under the realm of seen is kshetra, and the seer is kshetrajna. And why do we say, and who is this kshetrajna, which is described in the next verse? Kshetra we have understood correctly. Then Bhagwan goes to say, do thou also know me as the knower of the field in all fields. So what he's saying is that this kshetrajna is only one in all the fields, which right at that point negates jiva, because every kshetra has a different jiva. Why do I say there is a different jiva? Because my jiva says I'm female, your jiva says you're male, my jiva says I'm beautiful, your jiva says you're ugly. I say I'm tall, you say you're short, I'm fat, you are thin. That's why there are many, many jivas. There are many, many jivas. And therefore, when Bhagwan says that there is only one kshetrajna in all the kshetras, right there, jiva is negated. No need of analysis. Like that. Word, just the word meaning you take, and jiva is this thing. Okay? Is that understood? Very clear? Okay. There is only one kshetrajna. What is the kshetrajna that we know? It's Ishvara. So actually, kshetrajna is Ishvara. Okay. But the question arises is, can Ishvara be valid without Brahman? Can Ishvara exist without Brahman? Ishvara's existence is also a dependent existence. You have to understand that. So that is the complete understanding of Kshetrajna. That Kshetrajna is Ishvara, but that's it. Is Ishvara different from Brahman? If you think Ishvara is different from Brahman, that is incorrect understanding. Correct understanding, complete understanding. See, that is partial knowledge. Partial knowledge is not false knowledge, but to consider partial knowledge to be complete is the mistake. That is error. So we must not have the erroneous knowledge that there is a kshetrajna somewhere, Ishvara, and then there is this Brahman. If you have that sort of a concept, it is erroneous. It is incorrect. So yes, Ishvara is kshetrajna, and when I say Ishvara, I'm using Ishvara in Vedantic parlance, not Rama and Krishna and Devi and Hanuman and all that. That is absolutely not the meaning. So Ishvara, who is defined as Brahman plus Maya, must be understood as something which cannot exist without Brahman. And then you have the complete idea of Kshetrajna. When you go to Brahman, what remains is only Nya. There is no Kshetra where Brahman is concerned. And therefore, Brahman alone cannot be Kshetrajna. Brahman alone, there is nothing. Once you read, then it is Anirvachaniya. Then there is no need of class, there is no need of books, there is no need of anything. But as long as I find the need, and how do I find the need? Because I think my joys are real, my sorrows are real, my body is real, my world is real. I think and the body is still I cannot get out of the body identification, then I need this. So this is how this Kshetra and Kshetrajna is to be understood. Okay, Kshetra is seen, Kshetrajna is the seer. Who is the seer? A seer is a seer as long as there is a seen. If the seen is removed, I've given you this example many times. Yasmina probably opened the class, and is she a seer of us? No, she's not. She's the only one there. Now, as one by one people started joining in, she became the seer of Chandar, then I came in, then so-and-so came in, then so-and-so came in, so-and-so. Then she started. So seer is a seer only till there is a seen. Once the seen is gone, there is no seer. Only near remains. Brahman is near. Ishvara is kshetrajna. And body, including the body, this entire body, mind, intellect. And now Kshetra, Bhagwan himself will describe in detail. So I don't have to describe. Bhagwan, next few verses, Bhagwan is going to explain. This is how this, and then what Bhagwan says is, because Arjun has asked, what is Jnanam and what is Neyam? So Bhagwan says, the one who knows this Kshetra and Kshetrajna very clearly, that person knows, and that is the only jnana that needs to be known. So material knowledges are there, Okay, but the most important knowledge, that is the message of the Vedas, that is the message of Vedanta, that understand yourself. See, our understanding of the world is based on our understanding of ourselves. Now, the basic understanding of ourselves is incorrect. That's why a person, that's why they say he pleads insanity. In a court of law, insanity is a plea, because he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know who he was. He was drunk. He didn't know what he was doing. Now he has committed an accident. We are also drunk. We are in that position because we are functioning from the platform that I am the body. So the first thing is incorrect. Finish. Everything else beyond that, how can it be correct? How can it be correct? It cannot be correct. It cannot be correct. So that's why know yourself first. Know who you are. And that's why Bhagavan says that is the correct knowledge. Once you get that knowledge firmly in your head, everything else will be correct. It cannot be wrong. You cannot go wrong. When you're functioning from the platform of Brahman, I am not this body, but this body is my vehicle. When you function from that platform, nothing can go wrong. But when you're constantly functioning from the platform of I am the body, I am the ego, I am hurt, then somebody said something, then this, everything is getting messed up. Okay, any questions? Is this clear? Yes, Mina, you were confused about Ishvara and whatnot. Are you okay now?
So you made a distinction between Ishvaras in the Vedantic sense and, let's say, the various Ishtadevata.
God, because God is...
What exactly is that? So that can we just say that those forms and names are assumed by Ishvara as a result of association with Maya?
Those are avatars. Krishna, Rama, and all their avatars of Ishvara.
Ishvara, of course, because Brahman doesn't do
form.
anything.
Yeah. So their avatars, and form is false.
Right. So I mean that's why I'm saying as a result of Maya they come into being.
He said no. Chapter 4. Keeping my Maya under my perfect control, I take birth. It is not even a birth. That's why it is called avatar. Ours is a birth. Why? It's a forced birth. Our vasanas have forced us to take this body, this womb, this situation, these people as relatives, these people as friends. All that we have had no choice. We have performed actions, and that has forced our birth into this world. Whereas Bhagwan, he decides, I'm going to be born at 12 o'clock. Why did he have to make the proclamation to begin with? He should have kept quiet. No, Kansa would not even know. No, a child is going to kill you. Well, what was the need? Drama. Bhagwan said, I am the director of the play. I am the hero. I am the heroine. I am also the villain. I will kill myself in the drama. Everything I am doing, understand, it is only me. It is only my play. My Leela it is. That's
so
it.
Can we take, when Krishna makes these proclamations, can we take that as he's speaking from the perspective of Ishvara?
Yeah, if he's Brahman cannot speak.
Brahman cannot speak, exactly. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. So he is speaking from the perspective of Ishvara. Okay. Great.
Okay, so is that clear? Is it okay? Everything okay? All right. 4, verse number 4. Takshetram yachaya drikcha yadvikari yatascha yata sacha yo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shruno. What the field and of what nature, what are its modifications and whence it is, and also who he is and what his powers are, that hear from me in brief. Tat samasena me shrunu. In brief, I will explain to you what is the field and its nature, its modifications, everything. And there is no hidden meaning. This is straightforward, he's telling. And the reason he says in brief, because if he goes into details of Kshetra, like if you remember in chapter 10 also, Bhagavan said, in brief, I will tell you my vibhutis. Because if I go into details, it will be the end of the world only to tell you all my vibhutis. So in brief, 73, 75, I will tell you in brief. Because this Kshetra is vast. Okay, Kshetrajna is only one. Kshetra is vast. So he says in brief, let me explain to you how this, because we defined idam as that which is seen vikari. How it's modifying. Okay, because it is modifying, it is inert. And because it is inert, it is seen, therefore inert, therefore modifying, therefore mithya. So that's why he says, I will explain to you how these modifications are happening in Kshetra in brief. Because in detail, if I go, then that's it. There is no time. There will be no time only to explain in detail. So he's going to explain in brief in the following next verses. Now, ऋषिभिर् बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर्विविधै पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः. Rishis have sung in many ways, in various distinctive chants, and also in the suggestive words indicating of Brahman, full of reasoning and decisive. So logic, reasoning is logic. What he's saying is, and Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Rishis like Vashishta, Patanjali, Kanad, that is what, those, the Rishis of yore. If you see Bhagwan's style in entire Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan has always used the words they say. The wise sages have said, this is my opinion. It is Bhagwan himself talking, but that shows us his humility. He doesn't say, you know what? Never. And that's why he's saying, I will tell you what the Rishis have said. I am not saying. These are the great Rishis. Bhagwan himself is calling them great. This is what he's saying here. Gitam, they have sung. So, because we have the Samaveda, which can be sung. So they have sung. In Narad Bhakti Sutra, when you, they say, why is the devotee always singing? See, when you're happy, you sing. Otherwise, you're talking. In misery, you don't say. Only in Bollywood movies, they sing when they're unhappy. But that doesn't happen in real life. In real life, only when you're very happy, then suddenly a song will come out of your mouth. So when it says Geetam for even Vedanta, they say they're very happy. These rishis have realized the source of bliss to be themselves. So there is nothing other than happiness there. So whatever they talk also will come out as singing only, like that, because that's what it is. There's nothing hidden meaning or any such thing, but that's what it is, Geetam. And different ways, Vivid Prathaka, all differently they have said, but they said they give the same message. Brahma Sutra Padasha. So words indicative of Brahman, Brahma Sutra, right? So about Brahman, they have sung in many, many ways. And I'm going to tell you that. So he's now going to be telling about the field, and then he's going to tell about how to reach the knower of the field. What is the field and how do you go to the knower? That's why we have the 20-point program here. Okay. So when he says hetuhu also, logic also, so there is Shruti and there is logic provided as well. We know that there is Shruti, Yukti, and Anubhuti. These are the three ways in which we should know. So we have to read Shruti, and then a logical explanation has to come to our mind. Logic, that is what I was trying to do. Like Ishvara, what is the logic behind that? And then that logic has to confirm with our experience. Then it is correct. So our experience, what we know, we don't know Shruti, we know our experience. So with our experience, we can figure out. This is what Shruti has said. That's why Shruti has said Tattvamasi. Right? Tattvamasi, Shruti has said. Okay, what is the logic behind it? And then what is my experience? In Tattvamasi, the experience is Aham Brahmasmi. That has to come. That's why it's Tattvamasi. Tat is Ishvara and Aham Brahmasmi is Brahman. Because Aham Brahmasmi is a realization Vakya. See, the 4 Mahavakyas also have a sequence. First is Pradnyanam Brahma. That is a declaration. It's a general declaration that the consciousness in the and we saw that in Aitareya Upanishad, this consciousness is the consciousness within us. Individual consciousness is same as the total consciousness, is a declaration. Okay. So a declaration is made, okay, so what? So what is it to me? So the Guru says that consciousness you are, therefore Tattvamasi is an instructive sentence. It's an instruction given by the Guru to the disciple. If the Guru would have said first, Aham Brahmasmi, and then the disciple is going to, okay, Guru, you are Brahman, what about me? Who am I? So he doesn't say Aham Brahmasmi first. He says Pradnyanam Brahma. Okay, that's a general statement. Okay, so what's it got to do with me? That you are. Okay, then what I should do? Go meditate on what? I am Atma Brahma. Meditate. I am Atma. This Atma within me is Brahman. Atma within me. Atma therefore is referred to the individual consciousness. Brahman is referred to the total consciousness. I am Atma. And then, Aham Brahmasmi. Realization. This is how these Mahavakyas go. They have to be understood like that. Therefore, we cannot say that Tat is Ishvara. Tat is, Tat is Ishvara. Tat is not Brahman. Tat is Ishvara. And the realization has to be Aham Brahmasmi, because there is really no Ishvara. Really, there is no Ishvara. Also, there is neither is there is Ishvara nor is there Jiva. There is only Brahman. This is the final. Okay, so this is what we have to understand now. Now he goes on into 6 and 7. We read together. They're like a continuation. They're the description of the kshetra. So far, points clear? All right. महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः इच्छा द्वेष सुखं दुःखं संघातश्चेतनाधृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम्. The great elements, egoism, intellect, and also the unmanifested Mula Prakriti, the 10 senses and the 5 objects of senses, desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, aggregate, body, intelligence, fortitude. This kshetra has been thus briefly described with its modifications. Okay, now all other words except Chetana is what is going to require explanation. Mahabhuta, subtle elements. Pancha Mahabhutas, we have seen. Now that's why I told you, when we say seen, it is also inferred. Now subtle elements we don't see because they're subtle. That's why they're called subtle. But you will infer them. If you see something gross, then from there the subtle is inferred, and inferred falls under the definition of seen. So they fall under idam, and therefore they fall under kshetra. They're seen. Gross elements, so we can see air, we feel. Other than space we infer, but we see we feel air, we see fire, we see water, we see earth. So those are the 5 great elements. Okay, the tanmatras, this pancha mahabhuta, when it is said, it is the tanmatras, subtle, but subtle is always presumed. And because it is presumed, it falls under the idam. Okay, buddhi, intellect. I see my own buddhi, na? I see other people's intellect also. So it is seen, falls under seen. All these things are falling under seen. All these things are what is referred to as apara vidya in chapter 7. This is the same, aparavidya. Indriyani dashaikam 11. Why in 11? Because 5 sense organs of perception, 5 organs of action, and 1 mind. So therefore 11. Don't I see the gross? I see my eyes and nose and everything, but the faculty also I know, right? Because there is a fleshy eye and then there is a faculty of seeing, which I know. Don't I know myself that I cannot read without my glasses? So therefore, you know the faculty also. Doesn't a person know that, oh, I can't hear very well, so I need the volume high on the TV? Okay, so what it means, the physical organs also, but the faculty also it means when it says indriyani, both the subtle and the gross sense organs and organs of action. So hands I see, but then there is a subtle this thing. You know, this the fleshy organs are there, which is tamasic, and the faculty of seeing, faculty of smelling, faculty which is known as the golakas. It is subtle, but it is known by the mind. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Okay, and therefore they are also called as the senses. When the word is used, sense organs. Okay, so what comes to mind is my fleshy eye, my fleshy nose, my tongue, my skin, and my ears. That's fleshy, that you see, gross. But there is a subtle power behind them. Therefore, you can see a person with perfect eyes, beautiful eyes, but he may not be able to see. He or she may be blind, right? So the eye is there, the physical eye is there, but the power of seeing is not there. Or in a person who has had a stroke and is paralyzed, the hand and leg will seem normal only. But when you ask them to lift their hand, they can't. Right? So there are these two things, okay? And both of them fall under kshetra. And the reason is not only that the physical senses are seen, but this faculty, which is subtle, I know, right? I know that I can't read without my glasses. I know that maybe I can't hear very well. I know that I can't move my hand, like the person who has got paralysis. Okay, clear? So indriyani, and along with mind is known as the king of the senses. And don't I know my own mind? Don't I know that today I'm feeling happy, today I'm feeling not so very happy? So it is falling under seen. All these things are falling under seen or perceived or inferred. So they are falling under that. Okay, that's why they're falling under kshetra. This is what Bhagavan is saying. And pancha and the 5 objects of the senses. So this is the unmanifested mula prakriti is maya or avidya. I know that I am ignorant of my true nature. So that also falls. Therefore, maya also falls under kshetra. Everything is falling under kshetra only. Kshetrajna is only one. And one kshetrajna, so maya also doesn't. Ichha, desire. Don't I know my own desires? Other people also sometimes know. If I say them, other people will know. But forget saying it. In my own mind, I know. Ichha. Vesha, hatred. Don't I know that I don't like certain things or certain whatever people or whatever situations? I don't like the snow. I don't like to drive in rush hour traffic. Seen. It's very, very simple. Huh? There is nothing. Kshetra, there is nothing in kshetra. That's only 2 verses. Finish. Vesha. Sukham. Don't I know that I'm happy? Don't I know what makes me happy? Sukham. Dukkham. Don't I know what makes me sorrowful? What is sorrow? I know, right? In my mind, I know. Other people may not know whether I'm happy or sad, but I know. Na, that is the main thing. Do I know? Then finish. Kshetra. It's falling in kshetra. Everything is falling in kshetra. Sanghat chetana. The aggregate chetana is translated as intelligence. We'll come back to that word. Dhriti is patience. Dhriti, the chetana is only one thing that we have to understand this thing, because I'll explain. Fortitude. See, dhriti is also fortitude or patience, which is very important. It becomes extremely important in Vedantic pursuits, spiritual pursuits. That is why we see people dropping out of classes, because the dhriti is not there. Dhriti is of three kinds: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. You need a lot of sattvic dhriti, sattvic fortitude to stay on this path, because this path is like walking on a razor's edge. Upanishadic words must not be taken lightly. It is not that they just thought, yeah, let's just put these words in there. It is not like that. It is the truth. It is the final truth. There is nothing more true than what the Upanishads say. And therefore, when it says that this is a razor's edge, it is really a razor's edge. People don't realize that. People think, I'll just attend class once a week and it's done. It's not. It's not. That's why I told you that when we are told certain instructions, if there is not that inherent change within us, then this dhriti doesn't stay. Then you will not stay on the path. You will, this thing. Rajasic dhriti is where you go after material pursuit. There are how many people who are trying for promotion and, clawing on the corporate ladder and right. That is Rajasic dhriti. That also requires dhriti. The one who has got more sattva will give that running up. That's how it is. Where there is more sattva, because that sattvic, when the sattva increases in the mind, it says, yeah, okay, but okay, do I really? When I decided to retire at age 55, actually there was a gentleman who said to me, because at that time my children were already independent, and he said, why are you retiring now? You will make the most money now, he said, which is true, which would have been absolutely true. I had 10 more years of service, no children, responsibility of children to pay for them, right? That means my entire paycheck would have been a saving. There was no fees to pay. There was nothing to pay. The kids were both totally independent. And I said to him, I said, yeah, I will make more money, but what about what I want to do? What I really want to do? So what do you want to do? I said, no, I want to go and join the course. I don't want to be too old. Then what? Then I can't do things. And I never regretted my decision. Not even for a single, people asked me, do you remember? I didn't even remember the bank. Honestly, I retired on Friday, was my last day. Monday, I was on a flight to India. That's it. And I completely wiped out my career from my mind. There was nothing. There was no regret. I would have made so much money. I would have nothing. That is the best decision that I made in my life, to go for the course. There is no other this thing. So that, and then to do the course, how much? Oh, there also a lot of patience, because it is literally like you're going through a washing machine. Swami Shivaprayananda came, and already, we were like this, and she said, Jaya, this is a washing machine. You're getting washed and you're going to get churned in your mind. It's not the physical churning, mind. The mind churns like you would not believe. And she said, but when you come out of this washing machine, when you come out of the course, you will be absolutely clean. You will be absolutely peaceful. And that was exactly the same thing. The minute I stepped out of my suitcase after 2 years out of the gate, suddenly I was at peace. But the 2 years were like, then Swami Shantananji came, every Swami Swarupananji in the beginning, everybody I used to go, because I knew all of them, right? All of them. I went to Shantananji, he looked at my face. He said, okay, before you say anything, I was here for 4 years. You're here only for 2 years. Now tell me what. I said, Swamiji, missing class. I told, there was a brahmachari. I said, you know what? I'm meeting Swami. So she couldn't say anything. I'm meeting Swami Shantananji. So he said, Jaya, this is the best thing that you have done in your life. Don't leave. Don't leave. And he said, this is sadhana laya, is actually shodhana laya. And shodhana is purification. What is happening is purification. And in purification, what do? You get washed, you get churned, you get this. it is a purification, and lot of dhriti is required. And then Guruji also said, after 1 year, usually people dropped out also. There were brahmacharis who dropped out also. And after one, but the Guru helps. So after 1 year, I don't know what was happening to me. And Guruji had come, because he used to only visit and come and go. He called me. Guruji called me, because I think he must have seen, I can't remember whether I told him something, I said something or whatever. He called me. He said, what's happening? He said to me after 1 year, exactly after 1 year. He said, what's happening? And I said, I'm remembering home. I was really like, something was, that's the whole thing about Sandipani. Something is going on inside, but you really don't know what it is. You just have to stay with it, right? But you don't know what it is. I said, I don't know, but I'm remembering home. So he said to me, what home? Very quietly, very peacefully. That's why they say they are so much at peace that when you are in their presence, you also, and you said, what home? And all the agitation just calmed. Even I didn't know what home. I just said, I'm remembering home. And he said that, and that was it. And then he was coming to Toronto, and I told all these people who are going to Toronto, Mr. and Mrs. Kapp, I asked him to come to Vancouver. And then he said to me, he said, if you don't complete the course, I will not come to Vancouver. So he told me. And I said, Swamiji, I promise you, I will complete no matter what happens. That is dhriti. It's a lot is required when you're there. And then one thing Swami Shraddhanandaji told me, it made sense. Swami Shraddhanandaji said, see, when you are in your own home, in your house, in your whatever, when your mind gets agitated with somebody or something, you have a lot of other distractions. Like there is TV, your family is there, your other friends are there. So somebody makes you upset, you can go talk to somebody. He said, here what is happening is there are these 40 students, everybody's spewing out poison because everybody's getting purified. So what they're throwing out is poison. Okay, now who is there? Other 39 people are only there to get the poison. There is no TV, right? There was no entertainment, no going out. It was the same 40 people that you saw every single day, day after day, day after day, day after day. And you would not believe, I'm telling you the truth. One day this person is absolutely friendly. The next day it's like you committed a crime. They don't even like, and you're like, what did I do? And it's not that you did. It's they are churning in their, everybody's churning in their mind. And what they're spewing out is only poison. And that poison you have to be able to, and therefore when you leave this place, you will have become an expert in handling everything. No matter what poison people, it will not compare to what you've gone through here, but you're going through a washing machine and it'll hurt. It'll hurt. And Swamiji said to me, don't leave. Do not leave. It's just like that, the way that is what Sandipani is.
What does it mean, spew out poison? They say unpleasant things or just...
Nobody says anything. But you know what? Sometimes it is better to have said something than not saying anything. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. They just, it's very hard to explain. And what Swami Swarupanandaji told me was, he said, Jaya, I had the same problem when he went as a student. He said, I didn't even know how to tie a lungi. He had gone from Hong Kong. And he said, I wrote to Gurudev only directly. Gurudev, what should I do? This is happening to me. All that, you know. And then Gurudev wrote to him. And then he said, I will tell you what Gurudev wrote to me directly. So I'm telling you directly. And this is what you have to do. He said, you are not supposed to talk to anybody. Do not speak to anybody. You stay in your room. You go to class. From class to Annakshetra. Eat your food. Room. Class. Annakshetra. Room. Nothing. Temple, chanting, Annakshetra, tea, room. I used to not even step out of the room. That's it. room. And I had to make up for the 4 months that I joined in late. I had to make up for that. So first 5 months were like, that was it. Room, Saraswati Nilayam, Annakshetra, room, temple, chai, afternoon tea also I left. I said, forget it, don't want to go there. Room, Saraswati Nilayam, room. Saraswati Nilayam, room. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. And at night, sometimes Swami, our Acharya, will have some group meet. But that was Acharya's, he said, we have to meet. And after program, nobody used to look at each other, the students. Room. Krishna Janmashtami, 12 o'clock, midnight, we had to stay. Mahashivratri, we had to be in the temple because then, it's Mahashivratri. But at 12, the minute the thing happened, room, and shut the door, no TV, no nothing, alone. And then you go. It's just like that. But this is what I honestly felt when I left. When I stepped out of that gate, finally, after 2 years, all of a sudden, within a second, I was at peace. I was at peace with myself. I was at peace with the world. I was at peace with everybody. I'm just at peace. That's it. Nothing. So this is dhriti. This dhriti is required in this path. And those who don't have it, they have dhriti, but they have either rajasic or then tamas. Tamasic dhriti is nothing. Let me sleep in. So, and this is seen. Fortitude is also seen, right? You know how patient you yourself are, or you can see the patience in other people also. There are so many people who are going through physical difficulties, financial difficulties, now with COVID, so many. So you see that. So therefore it all falls under Kshetra. Okay? All right. Now we come back to this word Chetana, because Chetana means sentiency, right? Consciousness. So now Bhagwan is saying here, Chetana is Kshetra. So then what is Kshetrajna then? What is the difference? So Chetana has 3 meanings. The foremost meaning of Chetana is pure consciousness. That is the original consciousness. That is original Chetana. That's why Bhagwan has said, the light in the sun is mine. The light in the moon, coolness in the moon is me. Intelligence is me. So that is the original one. The second Chetana is Ishvara. Why? Because first from Brahman, invoking Maya, first Ishvara came. So the second Chetana is Ishvara. Now when Bhagwan is putting this Chetana, what is this Chetana? This is Jiva. What is Jiva? The expression of that original consciousness, which allows me to experience everything, which is allowing me to experience Sukha, Dukkha. Who is allowing me? First of all, understand who is experiencing Sukha, Dukkha that we read: desire, Dvesha, hatred, Sukha, Dukkha, Dhriti. Okay, these are the 5 things that he has said, right? And this includes all other, so the jealousy, anger, all that is all included. Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukham, Sanghat, this assemblage, and Dhriti. Who is experiencing this?
Jiva.
Correct. The one who is experiencing is Jiva. Now that Jiva, who is that Jiva? So if he's experiencing, that's why we said he's seeing, right? Experiencing. So where is his Chetana original?
No.
No. Correct. Though he does have Chetana. He does have consciousness. That's why he knows that, I'm happy, I'm sad. So this Chetana here, when Bhagwan says put it in Kshetra, it means it is this borrowed Chetana. So it is Jiva. This Chetana is referring to Jiva. So that's why Jiva also is falling under Kshetra. This is to be understood now. So in the first 2 verses, we said Jiva is not Kshetrajna. There we said why? Because Kshetrajna is only one. We said Jivas are many. Okay. So here he said, when he says Chetana, it should not be mistaken as being pure consciousness, and neither should it be mistaken to be Ishvara.
Of course.
Because it is our own Jiva. Because see, Ishvara is Sarvadnya. So this Chetana is the individual Chetana which only allows me to know my own Sukha, my own Dukkha, my own fortitude. It doesn't allow me to see what is in your mind. Of course, if you're crying or something, then I can say, oh, this person is unhappy. But if it is only in your mind, my Jiva, my Chetana can't see it. And therefore, this is not Ishvara. Because if this was Ishvara, then Ishvara should be seeing I told you, Ishvara can hear the footsteps of the ants, it seems. So Ishvara knows everything. But this Chetana is an experience, it is the pure consciousness expressing through the BMI, which is allowing that experience to happen. So it is, this is the Asi also, like it is the, where is the, does Jiva has its own consciousness? No, it's not. It is a reflection of that consciousness. Therefore, it has got that. It is not his own. That's why we say Jiva is a dependent reality. It is dependent. Okay, that's why this word only has to be understood here in this. The rest is, you know, Chaitanya should be understood as the Chidabhasa, which is experiencing through the BMI. Okay, which is expressing and experiencing through the BMI. So the Jiva feels pain when the finger touches something hot. The Jiva feels Sukha when some happiness comes. The Jiva feels Dukkha when some Dukkha comes. Right? So this is how it is to be understood. All right? So everything. Now he gives from 8 onwards a 20-point program, which he himself calls as Jnanam. Now, when we look at this 20 points, 20 virtues they are, how they become Jnanam. So what it is it is the path to knowledge. And what knowledge? Already he said, the only knowledge is the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Okay, so this is not a path to knowledge of physics, chemistry, mutual funds, which mutual funds will do more. This is not the path. And that's why he calls it as Jnanam. He's calling it as Jnanam. It's a path to knowledge. It's like if I get on a direct flight to Calgary, it's like I am as good as in Calgary. So he says, if you start following these virtues, there are 2 words. There is one word value, one word virtue. Value is intangible. What is a value? Honesty is a value. Truthfulness is a value. Kindness is a value. Compassion is a value. But they are intangibles. And only when they are followed by some human being, then they become a virtue. Because we can talk, you know, a friend of mine called me and she herself was laughing. Her husband is expert at sending out messages on WhatsApp, you know, like all these elevating messages, you know, like whatever. And she said to me, you know, Jaya, I'll be really, she's a very good friend of mine. She said, I'll be very honest with you. Not a single message does my husband follow. He doesn't follow. But and you know, all the other people, they tell, oh, your husband is so nice. What a lovely message. You know, WhatsApp is so easy. Forward, right? So then she said to her husband, you know, she was angry one day. She said, what is the point? You know, what is the point you're sending? He says, no, messages are only to be sent out. They're not for me. Now what to say? She said, Jaya, what should I do? I said, no, just accept your husband is like that only. Now you can't leave him. She's older than me. So I said, you cannot leave your husband. You just keep quiet and accept. That's it. He's going to send. She said, at least don't send the messages then. If you're not, no. They are, other people should follow them. No, I know. So that is, so that value is there. If I say, aha, honesty is a good value, aha, ha, 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 you know, I am not honest, then what is the point? There's no point. So we have to follow. So here we start. We'll read this verse and then we'll go on. Because again, these are also a sort of continuation. Okay. Amanitvam madham bitvam ahimsa kshanti rajavam acharyopasanam shaucham sthairyam atma vinigraha. Humility, unpretentiousness, non-injury, forgiveness, uprightness, service to the teacher, purity, steadfastness, self-control. So there'll be 20 that will be given. Here there are 9 and there will be 11 more that will be coming. So we'll go one by one. Amanitvam, humility, mana, there is one word mana, and amana, which is being humble. Like mana is pride or egotism, and amana is no pride. Now, at a lower level, let me explain to you. We take pride in so many things, you know. Guruji's example was best. He says, person is walking a dog, even the dog is, you know whose dog it is? My dog. Means people are admiring the dog. So even in that, you know, somebody, what a beauty, you know who did the garden? You know who planted? So we take pride in all these things. We're taking pride in kshetra. Okay? Everything is kshetra. See how beautiful I am. See how thin I am. See how this intelligent I am. All this pride we are taking in kshetra. And when we take that, we limit ourselves. You know how tall I am? 5'4". Actually, I'm infinite. Actually, I'm infinite. But what did I do? I've got a great height, 5'6". My son, 6'1". See my son. Infinity has now, in mana, the word mana means measure. Matra sparshastu kaunteya, shitoshna sukhadukkesha. Ma word has another meaning, negative. Ma shuchaha in 18, Bhagavan says, chapter 18. That is, don't grieve. That is there. But ma also means to measure. So mana means we are measuring ourselves by an inert matter like the body, mind, and intellect. And therefore, amana means disidentifying from body, mind, and intellect. And when you become amanitvam, when you develop this amanitvam, which is the technique to disidentify, if you can do it, where are you then? Brahman, Jnanam. That's it. That's it. Simple. So, amanitvam. So, at a lower level, at least we must not take that sort of ego pride. Self-respect has to be there, but not the pride. See what a beautiful house I see, what a beautiful garden. At least this little think that is kshetra that you're taking pride in. Another thing that will help you in not taking is, do you think that suppose you planted the garden, wasn't there help from the soil, from the water, from the fertilizer? You know, people say, I'm a self-made man. Who taught you the first alphabet? Who held your hand and taught you to walk? So mother is for, that's why Matru Devo Bhava first. Matru Devo Bhava. Mother is forgotten. Father is forgotten. Who taught you in school? Kindergarten. I'm a literature, you know. A, B, C, D, who taught you first? Your kindergarten teacher taught you A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. That's why now you are a PhD in literature or in mathematics or whatever. Now, I learned everything myself. What, when you were born, you learned, you knew everything. Remember this. This is at a day-to-day level. If you can remember that there is the hand of God, there is the hand of my mother, there is the hand of my father. First of all, because of my mother and father only, I got this body, because of which I could become whatever I became. So how can we say I'm a self-made man or a self-made woman? I can't. So remembering this stop taking pride in those things. That doesn't mean you become a doormat, but don't have that pride, you know. And then at going at a higher level, because Bhagwan is calling this jnanam. Now, this will help us when we start not taking pride in these lower things. This is very lower, kshetra it is. Whatever you say is kshetra, including body is kshetra. So when you say, I have a beautiful body, kshetra. You're taking pride in kshetra, in the not self. So when you stop doing that, and as you purify your mind, you will then stop measuring yourself also as the body. Means you will stop identifying with the BMI equipment. Like Gurudev would say, BMI. When you disidentify with BMI, what remains is only Kshetrajna. Your identification is with that. Today we'll stop here, Amanitvam. We will see how all these other virtues help us as well. And this is the way to, any questions? Is clear? The idea of Kshetra Kshetrajna is clear now? No confusion? Okay.